Yeah, it's a great pleasure to be here with all of you, and I think this can only become better because it's just a start. And we are here to celebrate this phenomenal launch, and I think we will need to find a better speaker for such cheer toasts. But anyway, that's not my core business or discipline. So
you're still going, okay.
Yeah. So with that being said, cheers.
Cheers.
Not only is Robert really funny,
Claude, do you think you ever would have thought of an idea this good?
he's also the mastermind behind Liquity.
Not until now.
Not until now. Not until the seed's been planted. Now it seems obvious, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And best of all, he's so passionate about what he does.
Let's see, maybe spending more time with genius like Robert. I'm also having...
It'll rub
great
off
ideas.
on you.
Yeah.
When I asked him,
What is it that you like doing most?
Thinking about new things and new ideas and changing the world, even though it sounds like cheesy, but I mean, just the fact that you can have an impact now, at least with this technology, you can.
let's pause it there, because first, I want to know, what exactly is this technology? What is Liquity? To answer this question, I've asked Colton to explain Liquity on 3 different levels of difficulty.
How do you explain to your friends what you do?
I'm a little biased because most of my friends are into the space, but usually the way I describe Liquity to them is that it's a decentralized system built on Ethereum that issues interest-free collateral-backed loans. So in other words, users can borrow LUSD, which is a stable coin pegged to the US dollar, against their ETH to unlock more liquidity to buy more ETH, which is like leveraging up, right? Or swapping to another stable coin to capture some profit earning opportunity elsewhere, or whatever they want to do. And the other cool part of it is, instead of paying interest, users pay a one-time borrowing fee up front. So they know their cost to borrow in advance. And this allows them to use their debt more productively. One of the difficult parts about borrowing, especially in the DeFi space, is that oftentimes the interest rates are variable. So you don't know the cost of your loan over time, especially over the course of like a year or something, because the interest rate can fluctuate so much. But if you know exactly how much your loan costs up front, then you know how much you need to make in profit elsewhere to cover the cost of the loan. And then from there, you're in the green.
Next, I asked Colton how he would explain that same principle at Christmas dinner to his family.
Similar to how a mortgage gives you a loan against your house equity as collateral, Liquity can give you a loan against your Ether as collateral, which is a cryptocurrency, right? And it has value that often appreciates over time. So people want to be able to keep their exposure to their Ether while also having access to cash, essentially, so they can post their ETH as collateral and borrow what's effectively cash or LUSD against that ETH, similar to how you can take out a mortgage against your house equity and still live in your house.
To break it down even simpler, imagine that you have to explain it to like a 5-year-old kid.
Oh no. Liquity is a system that allows you to deposit something of value and borrow something of value against what you deposited. You're a 5-year-old, right? And you have all of these toys, but maybe you need cash to go buy candy. You can give somebody, in this case, Liquity, your toys and say, can you please give me $5? And I will pay, when I pay you back the $5, can I have back all of my toys? And Liquity will say yes, yes. And then you can get all of your toys back.
But I was still confused. How come, compared to other protocols, Liquity doesn't charge an interest rate?
The reason that Liquity can get away with not having an interest rate is because it has a different mechanism for managing outstanding debt. So the key responsibility of these protocols is to manage a price peg of the debt, in this case, $1. And if there's too much supply, then the price of the debt ends up floating below $1, and you have to bring debt back into the system to raise the price. An interest rate does that because you can hike the interest rate and bring debt back into the system. Liquity replaces that with a redemption mechanism that allows people to redeem LUSD at any time for $1 worth of ETH against the system. And so that brings debt back into the system whenever LUSD is below $1. Because if it's at 90 cents, you can redeem it for as if it's worth $1 and make a 10% profit. And that has the effect of raising, the price of the outstanding debt back to $1.
Colton answered a lot of my questions, but I decided to ask Claude from our team why we invested in Liquity and how it's going to affect the future of a more general population.
What excites me most about Liquity is I think that it gives access to a financial product to virtually anyone in the world that before it was only available to a very small percentage of people that have a high stake in equities, that have a good banking relationship. Now with Liquity, you don't even need a banking relationship. The only thing you need is internet, an Ethereum address, Ethereum, and you can get a loan against your collaterals. And we also think that the Liquity version that is live right now is only the first of many products that will come out of the Liquity team.
Yeah, in a sense, it's just the beginning. It's the beginning of a journey.
Yeah. After 350 days
Yeah.
of work, it's just the beginning. Can you imagine that, Claude?
No, it's the beginning of something new, of course. The end of an interesting phase, but now it gets, I think, even more interesting. Because sometimes it's a bit strange if you're working so hard on something, but it's still not live. It's just a concept or just a few lines of code. But now it's there, and it has become something material.
When will it feel real?
I think when we see the numbers go up, the TVL, total value locked, and the number of troves, and that's when it becomes real.
What's the expectation for tonight?
I would say,
In terms of value locked?
in my widest dream, it would be a 3-digit value, but it probably won't start.
Over 100 million.
Yeah, but maybe between 50 and 100, who knows? I mean, if all our investors who are committed do their thing, it should already be like half of that. When it's $10, then we are technically a unicorn. Yeah. I'm not saying that it will happen, but
Spoiler alert, it happened. And now that we've introduced Robert and Liquity, next week we're going to show you how it all played out.
Hydrate, get ready, buckle up.
What exactly is going to happen at 4 p.m. in
Thanks for watching.
44
and stay tuned
minutes?
for the next episode of VC Diaries.